Welcome everyone to Living with the Times. And many people over the last 75 years have compared the historical events and the time of the Maccabees with our present time. And so let's take a few minutes to look at this, that when the Greek Empire began to rule over Israel, at first there was not that much tension. Just accept us as the rulers, pay your tax, and you can do your own thing. And so it's known that Alexander the Great had tremendous honor and respect for the Jewish people. But after Alexander the Great, over a period of time, the Greek Empire fractured into three different segments, and the Syrian Greeks ruled over Israel, and little by little they came down on the people, on the Torah observance. And so the Maccabees felt that all the red lines had been crossed, and if they didn't fight back, there would be nothing left of Judaism. And that's because there was actually tremendous assimilation at that time. Many Jews became infatuated with Greek culture, Greek philosophy, and were living their lives more as Greeks than Jews here in Israel. And so there's an obvious comparison to the tremendous assimilation that has happened over the last few generations. Along with that, we have, at that time, the Maccabees were really fighting for our ability to rule over our own land. The Greeks were ruling over us. And so also in the last 75 years, there has been an ongoing battle, war after war after war, to defend our right to be here. Now let's look at the period right before the War of Independence in 1948. In our prayers of Chanukah, we always say that God delivered the many into the hands of the few, the strong into the hands of the weak. So if we look at the situation at the time of the Maccabees, again, the Greek Empire was enormous, and their armies were vast. And here, Israel was, as it is today, a very tiny little dot on the map. So to think that we could rebel against the Greek Empire bordered on mission impossible. But let's look at the years leading to 1948, and especially the whole decade before. There were less than 600,000 Jews in Israel, and yet we were fighting for our independence against the entire Arab world, the entire Muslim world, against the Nazi regime, and against the British Empire that was ruling over Israel at the time. So, and that's when it used to be said, the sun never sets on the British Empire. So if you put that together, fighting for independence in Israel against the British Empire, the Nazi Empire, the Arab world, and the Muslim world, it almost seemed almost absurd to think that we could get our independence. But we did. And along with the usual miracle that we always talk about at Hanukkah time, that one small cruse of oil that was enough to light the menorah for one day when they wanted to rededicate the temple, and it burned for 8 days. So that's considered a great miracle. But many people assert that an even greater miracle happened, is that we were able to defeat the Greek Empire and restore independence in our homeland. And the same thing, if we really look at the odds that were happening during the 1940s, then it is nothing short of a miracle that the state of Israel was reborn. So during Hanukkah, every night, the first night we say 3 blessings, and every night after that 2 blessings. And the second blessing is She'asa nisim lavotenu bayamim ahem bazman hazeh. We thank God who made miracles for us in that time, in this time of the year. Bayamim hahem, in those days, Bizman hazeh, at this time of the year. But many people interpret it, Bizman hazeh means not just at this time of the year, but in this time of history. And so, even though it's become a platitude to say Israel is a living miracle, it really is. It really is. And right now, we are fighting a war. To be honest, not more than a half an hour ago, I was in my bomb shelter after the sirens went off. Last night, we were in Shul, davening Kabbalat Shabbat, and quite literally, there were booms happening all around us, very close. So, if ever we needed miracles right now, we need miracles right now. So Bezrat Hashem, with our prayers, our determination, our belief, our faith, God again will make miracles, and we'll be able to stand up to the whole world. Many, many people have said in the last month or so, the only country in the world that is not allowed to win a war is Israel. Every time we're forced not to really win a war. And then each few years, another war happens because we're not allowed to win. So just like the Maccabees, and it took a while, many people don't know that the story of rededicating the temple happened after 3 years of war. But what many people don't know is that was only the beginning of the war. It actually lasted for 25 years until the last of the brothers of the Maccabees, the Hashmonaim, Shimon, was able to navigate independence between Greece and Rome. And we were able to become independent again. So right now, we are also fighting, but our war has been for at least 75 years. And if we're really truthful, it's been for thousands of years that the Jewish people are allowed to live in peace in our homeland. So Bezrat Hashem, this Chanukah, when we light the candles, they should be the candles of freedom. We should be a light unto the nations. That is our purpose. That is our task. And Bezrat Hashem, we will see great things happening in the very, very near future.